He is Mike Cagley. He is Brad Sturdy. I am Larry Smith, our producer. Tony Cordero, editor Josh Ewing. Glad to come with you here. Be with you on this first weekend as we cross over from October to November. We've got basketball starting next week, men's and women's. We'll talk about that. Sturdy talk with Calamity McIntyre, our friend, the assistant basketball coach, the Illini women's team. That's coming up in this hour as well. And of course, our picks too. And we'll discuss the other side, Mike, on the Eye on the Illini podcast, talking with Brian Fonseca from the Newark Star Ledger. But fellas, let's first talk about, here we are. It's November, 4 games left in the Illini football season. Look, if you want a 9-10 win season, you'll be favored in all 4 of these games. It's right there in front of you.
Yeah, they just go out and perform and execute, and they have a chance to get where they want to be. Maybe it's not the playoff, but you can get a New Year's Day bowl, 9-3 again, back-to-back years, winning 9 to 10 games. Win the bowl game, you're at 10. I don't think you can ask for much more from this Illinois football program. Now just go out and do it.
Yeah, it's Coach B almost got the same issue that coaches across the country have. You got teams, let's say, that think they could have been on the verge of being a CFP team, and now they're not. So how do you keep them motivated? And they've got to figure out what's important to them. And a big part of any athlete who's competitive is going out and just winning the dang game. So
yeah,
take them one at a time and do it.
Yeah, and for Illinois, just go out and stop somebody, which they did not do at Washington. The Huskies scoring on almost every possession. I think they were 8 of 9 converting, 8 of 10 converting on third down or something. Fellas, I mean, defensively, something has got to give. You've got to make stops and punt the ball. You guys watched what I did. How do you turn this thing around here after a couple of defensive efforts that were less than stellar, to be honest?
Yeah, there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's been a really bad year defensively since they got the win, in week 3. It's been really bad. Now, the question becomes, like, what can they do to fix it? Because it's not like you can't get new players now. You got the same guys. So they have to execute better. They have to have I think the game plan needs to change a little bit, be a little more variable in what they do. I think they make it too easy on them, but I understand why they don't want to come at. They can't cover man-to-man. There's all those different things. But you got to get better on third down. And you got to be able to get off the field. Because you can't get off the field, you have no chance of winning the game. And it's just that simple. And so execution has to be better. They have to stay disciplined. They have to stay in the right lanes and do all those little things and find a way to get some pressure on a quarterback and make it difficult.
Yeah, the other part is you got to get your confidence back. And playing USC will put Purdue out of this mix. Ohio State and Washington, that's a pretty tough assignment with Indiana right before it. Now you've got Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. So go out and play against these teams, play hard, and get some of your confidence back and a little of your swagger. There's no reason why the Illini, if they play to their capabilities, shouldn't finish this season at 9-3, which is what I predicted.
Yeah. I think I was right there too at 9-3 as well. I thought 10 was possible, but I'm with you. And I'm an optimist. I'm somebody that's not going to say the season's over, because it's not. Let's not become jaded fans all of a sudden when you had one 10-win season. There's still a chance, again, to have back-to-back 10-win seasons, even if you have a 9-win season following a 10-win season. That hasn't happened. So let's take what we have here and let's enjoy this. One of the guys who has been there every single time and was there in Seattle watching this live is our Matt Stevens, the IlliniGuys senior football writer and analyst. And Matt, throwing the same question out to you. With this defense right now, right in Big Ten play, they're giving up almost 40 points per game. How do you change this?
I'm going to do I give you the answer that nobody likes on our boards, football board at IlliniGuys.com?
Sure.
I don't know. And because I don't really know, and I think this is the quandary that the head football coach who gets paid over $8 million a year to try and solve himself, I don't know if he knows exactly what the problem is. Like, I don't think that they can put their finger exactly on what's wrong. You heard Brett Bielema on Saturday in Seattle go, I feel like when we get something right, something else just pops up and it makes the defense just as bad. And he's not wrong. What I think they can do is, and it sounds really, really weird, is that there's a twofold issue. And I think it's kind of like one of those choose your own mystery stories that we all had as kids, right? Yep. So like, if you go this way, if you go left, okay, Mike, you need to start trusting your secondary people a little bit more. And by that, I mean, you have to get more aggressive up front and allow your guys to make odd man rushes in a sense. You have to bring 5, you have to bring 6, maybe even have to bring 7, and you have to trust your secondary guys that they can do the job. That's the one option you can do because, I mean, the amount of non-pressures that they were giving to Damon Williams last week is just intentional. Like, it was 4 quarterback pressures from Illinois the entire afternoon. Washington's offensive line, the lowest they had held before that was 15 total to an opponent. So what Illinois was doing was intentional. You don't do that in a 60-minute football game unless you're literally trying to keep the dude in the pocket by a specific scheme. Okay, or they could turn right and say, "Hey, look, the guys that we're asking our secondary guys to do, they just can't do what we're asking. Specifically, what we're asking Tanner Heckel and what we're asking Mac Rasedich and what we're asking Matthew Bailey and what we're asking, our corners on the perimeter. What we're asking them to do, they physically can't do." And we're asking them to do something that they physically and athletically can't do. And that's on us as coaches. And we need to figure out what they can do so that we can scheme it up so that they can have success. Those are your choices. You either believe in your secondary and what you're asking them to do now, and they're just not doing it, or you don't believe that what they're being asked to do is something they can do, and now you have to overhaul what you're doing in coverage. And those are your choices, because first of all, I don't think Illinois can get even less aggressive with what they're doing up front.
Right.
Second of all, I don't think that they can get more aggressive. And you can believe this or not, Mike, I don't think they can get more aggressive with what they're doing in coverage, meaning Aaron Henry still plays more man than a lot of defensive coordinators in FBS, among 132 defensive coordinators in FBS. He's just providing a lot of cushion when they play man so that they don't get beat for a 50-yard touchdown over the top, right? And so there's a lot of things that I think Brett Bielema, starting with how he scouted Rutgers and said that he was going to stay a day ahead of his defensive coaches in terms of scouting and just provide them information as he comes across it on film. But I don't think he's going to micromanage his coaches. But, I mean, that's a long-winded way to say I think we're going to find out a lot of how they're going to do things at 11 o'clock when they kick it off against Rutgers on Saturday. But they do need to change some things. I just don't know. Like you said, Mike, they can't change the players, but they can maybe – Brett Bielema has been saying constantly, I think we can ask our guys to do something different because what we're asking them to do isn't working, and it's probably not to their best of their athletic ability. And that's why you get called coach, is to figure that out. And so I think they're going to have Brett Bielema scout it out, and I think they're going to have Aaron Henry and his friends scheme it up a little bit differently come Saturday.
So I talked to an optimistic Illini fan.
Sure.
And his point of feeling, I don't know, good.
Did you tell him that he's the one?
Yeah, exactly. His point about feeling, let's say, good,
Sure,
was the last 4 games Illinois played USC, Purdue, Ohio State, and Washington. And the next 4 games are Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. So the defense will, just by difference of competition, let's throw Purdue out if you want to put Indiana in there, they
Sure.
won't be facing the powerhouse offenses that they have faced for the last 5 weeks.
And to that point, Mike, I think that everybody kind of pegged November because I don't think Illinois is going to face a quarterback that they really fear getting out of the pocket and really damaging you. I mean, Kaliamakis can kind of do that, and Bielema kind of said that he found that on film a little bit, but they're certainly not going to be worried about Kaliamakis like the way that they were about Damon Williams or even Ryan Brown at Purdue or Fernando Mendoza at Indiana. It's going to be kind of more like how they felt like they had to play Julian Sayin, which is, yeah, sure, we're going to keep everybody in front of us, but we're still going to figure out a way to maybe make his life a little bit more difficult in the pocket. The cool thing is that I think you can maybe use the Ohio State game plan they had, and they don't have – none of these next four opponents have Jeremiah Smith or Carnell Tate on the outside. Yeah. And therefore, I think that Illinois – I said 2 weeks before we left for Seattle, Mike, that I thought a regression to the mean, meaning Illinois was going to come up while everybody else was going to come down, was going to happen in November. I still think analytically that's going to happen. It's just Illinois has dug themselves a bigger hole before November than I thought they would defensively to get there. But yeah, I don't think that Illinois looks at any of the next 4 quarterbacks or the next 4 like dual threat options that are going to be found there and say, that's something we really need to game plan and scheme around, which is why I think that you could see, again, up front, Aaron Henry and Terrence Jamison saying, kind of just taking the training wheels off of their guys up front and saying, hey, just go play ball. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not going to run away from you like Damon Williams or Ryan Brown or Fernando Mendoza would and could. Go play ball. You know what I mean? Like, just and if you're making mistakes up front, make them aggressively, because at some point, I don't think that these guys have the ability with their lower body to win a football game. I'm telling you, Damon Williams can. I mean, he can. He's going to go to the combine and run a 4.4, 4.5 whenever he decides to turn pro, and he's only 19 right now. Having Dylan Rosiak and having Mac Rusevich spy him athletically was a disadvantage for Illinois. But they didn't have a better option. But I don't think that they have to worry about quarterback spying. They can just send Gabe Yakus and say, hey, go get the quarterback. I think you could see Daniel Brown, somebody that they've been excited about for 2 years on the outside, say, go get the quarterback. Angelo McCollum can get vertically up the field the way that Johnny Newton used to, and the way they used to unturtle Johnny Newton from that nose tackle position. And I don't think they're worried about stuff like that. So I do think it's a different scheme that you're going to see over the next month offensively that Illinois' defenses are going to see. And I think that they're better equipped to handle that than they would. I mean, they were excited. This sounds really, really weird because he might be in line to win the Heisman if Ohio State goes 12-0, but they were excited to see Julian Sayin because they knew that he wasn't going to beat them with his legs.
Right.
Their scheme kind of worked if Illinois hadn't turned the ball over 4 times and the defense had been on the opposite wrong side of the field position the whole game. They were excited about that game plan. I think that game plan can work against Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern.
So Brett Bielema now has the task that other coaches across the country have. Teams that maybe thought they had a shot at the CFP, whether it was legitimate or not, is a different discussion point.
Sure.
But what does he do to motivate this team to keep them moving forward now that it's about 99.8% certain that they're not going to be in the CFP?
Do you like winning? Guys, do you like winning? Do you like putting good tape together? Do you like playing well? Do you like being confident? I think that has to be the thing right now. I don't have the funny, Mike, anybody that's ever played knows I don't think they have a motivational issue for Rutgers, because you've got a defense right now that is almost walking through the desert in search of confidence, and like in the form of anything that they can drink, water they can drink.
Yep.
So I don't think motivation is going to be an issue after you play the way you played against Washington coming off of an open date. They want to show that they're not like the worst Big Ten defense, and they're not as bad as people think they are. And then they have talent, and they can go out and they can play well. So from a motivational standpoint, that's the key. For the whole entire month, look at Brett Bielema has done in November, short of the 2023 season, of the 2022 season, which was, hey, November is the month to remember, right? And he's won Big Ten titles. He's gone to the Rose Bowl at Wisconsin because of the way that they finished in November. They went to the Citrus Bowl last year because of the way that they finished in November. So I think from a motivational standpoint, I think he's got it pretty good. Also, I was actually kind of surprised. He picked a decent motivational tactic coming in on Monday at Geese Memorial Stadium to talk to us, which was, he remembers, okay, they went to Oregon and got blitzed 38-9. What happened the next week? They came back from that cross-country flight, and PJ Fleck came into Champaign and beat them. And the last thing that Brett Bielema wants to do is repeat history in that regard, which is we flew cross-country, we go out to the Pacific Northwest, we get our head beat in a little bit, then we come back and we lose. We don't want to make that 2 years in a row. That shows a poor reflection of leadership on Brett Bielema and his coaching staff and his leadership council in terms of players standpoint, because they were all on that trip. So I do think they're going to have a motivational advantage against Rutgers. I think that the other 3 games, I think if the defense continues to have no confidence like they have right now, I think you could see some problems. But I think if they were able to gain even a little bit of confidence Saturday against Rutgers, I just think this team knows what 22 felt or 23 felt like when they went 5-7.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for them. And they're not even bowl eligible yet. So at the end of the day, Yeah, we like putting good tape together. We like playing well and we like winning. So I don't think that this team is in the position of, a big boy or like say, I use the example of like what Ole Miss was going through last year when like they kind of lost at Florida and then knew the rest of the season was a dumpster fire because it was playoff or bust. Because it was never sold to them in August as playoff or bust inside the Smith Center, I don't think that's going to be as big a factor because you still have guys that want to produce the first back-to-back winning season since whenever at Illinois, and I think that's important to them.
All right, Matt Stevens, appreciate it. Again, a football writer and analyst for IlliniGuys.com. We'll enjoy his work all through the week. And again, here this weekend, pregame and postgame on IlliniGuys.com. By the way, we should mention 11 a.m. kickoff, and that game is on NBC, a rare early game on NBC. All right, stay with us. Coming up next, Brad Sturdy talking to Calamity McIntyre about the women's team this year. A lot of new faces with all the seniors graduating and out of eligibility. What does this team look like? And we'll talk more also about their exhibition game they had on Thursday, their opener this week. We'll talk men as well. Yes, the team is complete. That other guy that we've been waiting on, the NCAA finally said, yes, you can play. It's a busy, busy show coming up here. The Sports Spectacular all along the Illini Guys Radio Network.